Did you know I have a Patreon? Yep, bet you didn't, but now you do. Check it out at the link in the description. Pokemon, Kaiju, Dragon Ball, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hey, hello there collectors, it's Steven here, and I'm back with another Deforeal review for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Deforeal Godzilla 1971 Rick version. So the standard version of this figure is going to feature Godzilla normally, no big deal. He's got both of his eyes open and his hands empty, but if you Rick it, you're going to have Godzilla winking at you, and he's going to be holding Hidora's eggs or eyes. I mean, if we could come to a consensus on this one, it would be most appreciated. Of course, there's going to be someone in the comments who's going to try to correct me, so go ahead and get it out of your system now. Anyway, the Rick version of this figure does feature Godzilla from the iconic scene when he's pretty much done beating up on Hidora here. And I gotta say, this one's got some personality. But does this one have enough personality to warrant a purchase for this one over the standard? Let's take a look to see whether or not he's worth adding into your collection. So effectively, the details between this one and the normal version will be the same, with a couple of differences. Obviously, Godzilla is going to have both of his eyes open, and his hands will not be holding Hidora's balls. That's what they are. They're two balls. If you can't get over it, then I mean, I don't blame you at all. Anyway, the normal version is going to have basically the same quality control and the same paint applications, except for in a few key spots. Like, for an example, on Godzilla's right hand, there's a little bit of brown reddish paint, which sort of recreates when he had to go in and get burned a little bit, grabbing that little orb out of Hidora. Now, of course, we do have the one eye closed, but that's okay, not that big of a deal. So if you're considering getting the standard version, this review should still help nudge you towards one or the other. Now, for overall how the figure looks, I know that there are some folks who go absolutely nuts when their X Plus has a seam. Why? I don't know. That's just a part of the process. This figure does actually have a seam on the head, and I imagine that this would be from the manufacturing process, so this way they could just easily swap between Godzilla having both eyes open or winking. So keep that in mind when you are making the purchase, that there is a seam there. Now, one of the things that I will mention about this figure is that the dorsal plates do seem to lack paint, and I'm not quite sure why they opted to go this route. I do know that from other X Plus figures and other incarnations of this general suit, I'm going to have to say that this is a big oopsies on X Plus's part. No paint here, really. I mean, it's there, it pretty much blends in with Godzilla's skin, so maybe we can fix that somehow. I don't know. But anyway, the paint throughout the rest of the figure actually does look great, and as usual, we do have fantastic sculpted detail for this figure. So if you're a fan of this suit, and you do want to have something that recreates that infamous scene in the movie, then congratulations, this chibi version of Godzilla 1971 should be for you. And also, the balls of Hidora held in Godzilla's hands do look just fine as well. The details are great. Now, this figure does not have any sort of articulation, so we'll go ahead and move right on over to a size comparison so you can see how big it is, and it actually seems to run on the smaller end for Deforeals, seemingly because it would need to be in scale with Hidora, which also was a little bit on the smaller side as well. But, I don't know, they could bump up the size a little bit, I think. But, yeah, don't worry. It looks just fine. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. The reason why I got the Rick version is I feel like the Deforeal line works best when it is able to express something from one of the movies. So whether it's going to be 1984 Godzilla holding the reactor, if we're going to have 1954 Godzilla standing in a base that is going to have destroyed buildings around him, or if we're going to have things like that. So that's why I got the Rick. Okay, now if you're not looking to spend extra money because you have to order this from X Plus's web shop, then go standard. I don't blame you there. The standard is just fine and dandy. Now, if you want to get the super exclusive Rick version, yeah, I gotta say, it was worth it. It goes well with Hidora. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand-selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand-selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.